My name is Diabia, and I want to share with you a little bit out of my testimony. Oftentimes, you would have someone that comes to speak at the school that is sharing a testimony, and then sharing the gospel. But it would always be these people that had these radical transformations in their life. That they were all drug addicts, or they were murderers, or they were something hectic gangsters, and then they would have gotten saved in this crazy way. My thought was, well, unfortunately, I am the most average guy that you could imagine. So unfortunately, I can't be you. And I have grown up in a home that's just an amazing Christian home with amazing parents. I had a lot of rebellion and stuff in my heart, but because of their high moral standards, I never really went off the rails that far. I was ridiculed at school for a while in grade 9, and that caused me to start stuttering. So the stutter that you might hear now is not a shadow of the one I had. I couldn't speak publicly for about 8 years. I couldn't open up my mouth. I was just slowly heading nowhere. That was what I was doing. And I was just doing everything that I had to do because I had to do something. At university, it then so happened that I didn't have my parents' morals nearby, and all the friends around me that was with me in res, we became very close very soon. It was alcohol and it was girls and all the stuff that you can imagine. I didn't really go to class. I just kind of stayed at res. I was on DC, which was the network back then, chatted with a lot of people on the network, watched a bit of pornography every now and again. I followed 10 series. I always had this thing with the Lord that I told him, if you're real, if you're there, speak to me. But if you don't, then, I don't know what this is. So I'm just going to continue with my life and see what I can make of it. And I wasn't really successful at making anything with it. It was kind of horrible, actually. I actually read a little booklet in my first year that was about baptism in the Holy Spirit and about speaking in tongues. And I read that and I thought, wow, this looks like a cool experience. And I went to the Lord with it, and I prayed about it, and I got baptized with the Holy Spirit there in my room, and I started praying in tongues. But it was in my first year, and I was still in the world, and we were still partying hard because I wasn't following Jesus. I just had this experience with him. A friend of mine came to me, and he gave me a CD with a specific teaching on by a specific guy. He got saved a while back, and he gave this thing to me, and I listened to it. And in it, it said that the Holy Spirit is the most ignored person in our church, and if we would just actually listen, we would hear him speak. I listened the way that he taught me to listen on that tape. I waited on the Lord, and I heard his voice. I started conversing with him on a very regular basis, and I remember the one day I was like, Lord, but is this real, or am I making this up? Because if I'm having conversations with myself in my head and I'm getting this information that I think is from you from somewhere else, then I need to know. So I said, Lord, I want you to give me a sign. So I'm going to look out the window now, and when I look out the window, I want to see a bird flying across the window at that moment. Then I will know that this is you. So please give me a sign. And as I looked out in the blue sky, there where I expected a bird was a star, like in the middle of the day, and it moved across my window like that, exactly where I wanted to see that bird. And I just felt a little say, I can do so much more than what you ask, and it is me speaking. From then on, I really knew God was working in my life. I really knew God was speaking to me, and I had a relationship with him. I went from this guy that's just going nowhere to someone that's hearing the voice of God. I was on 5 committees in the residence. I got a girlfriend for the first time ever. I did well in my course. I got onto the hardcore of course says, why on earth would I want to spend any second of my life pursuing something else than what he has for me? Because I know exactly what I had before I had him, and I don't want that. That's why I'm passionate about serving Him and about following Him, because it's the best idea. It gave me life.